Nathan Tudor. I'm here with Wolves reporter. It is Mr. Liam Keane. This is not take two. Liam, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. That's 2. 1-2. Fulham 1.
I called it, didn't I?
3-1. You did call it. You did call it in the podcast. 2-1 win. 3 points. 8th in the league. In the European positions potentially. Everything that went on in that game, all the setbacks to get 3 points. Let's talk about that first. To get 3 points against a Fulham side who went to Brighton and demolished them last week is a fantastic effort.
It was a weird game.
A strange game of football.
Really strange game of football. But obviously we'll come on to the first half stuff in a second, as you say. But Wolves have won that through a few things. Their second half performance,
correct,
which included the kind of characteristics we've seen in Sheffield United win, the Brighton win: grit, determination, heart, fighting spirit, all of the above. I mean, Mario Lemina, I don't know how he can walk off the pitch.
It's unbelievable.
He ran himself into the ground today. Someone like Nathan Fraser, after 65 minutes, I mean, he was done.
Couldn't walk.
He couldn't move anymore. Eventually, he did come off. Ryan Ait-Nouri was absolutely magnificent
Superb.
today, and got his goal.
Yeah.
Nelson Semedo obviously gets the. It will go down as an own goal, I believe, won't it? Because it was a massive deflection.
Yeah.
It looks like the shot's going off target.
Yeah, it's going for a throw in. No, it wasn't that wide.
I mean, it wasn't a great shot, but
brilliant all day defensively.
Semedo absolutely outstanding again today, and the list goes on. Wolves were on the front foot very early on in that second half, got the goal after 7 minutes after the restart, and that was really the crux of them getting this win here. That was the catalyst for them going on to win it. Now the second goal is obviously in the end wins it for you because of the later Wobie goal, but Wolves were well worth the victory based on just how hard they worked after so much adversity during this game and in recent weeks. It's a massive win.
Look, adversity before, of course we knew that Craig Dawson's 50-50 didn't make it today. Then we see the team, we see a back four there were a few changes, and then you lose Bellegarde so early into the game. They had to switch it around, Tommy Doyle coming on. And then, of course, the huge blow in Pedro Neto, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But like you say, to adapt and to show the kind of grit, character, determination they've done today, to get themselves across the line. I know they'll be disappointed. I felt sorry for the defence today when Iwobi scored at the very end of 94th minute or whatever it was, 98.
Yeah, virtually last kick.
They deserved a clean sheet. They really did. But I mean, they don't know when to say no. They don't know to lay over. And Gary O'Neill at the end there, just with the fans. It is an astonishing story.
It's a never say die attitude with this side. Every time there's some sort of adversity, and you can go this all the way back to the summer when they were written off and June Lopetegui leaves, Gary O'Neill comes in 4 days to go, but every turn, at every opportunity there's been a bit of adversity, they somehow overcome it. It's remarkable, and it comes down to really the fact that Gary O'Neill and his team come in, giving this team confidence to be the team, the players that they are, and they're able to put on performances like that. Now the first half was, obviously injuries aside, was actually okay. I don't think it was a particularly poor performance from Wolves. They gave up 2 massive chances to Fulham that Fulham should have scored.
Yes.
And had a couple of okay opportunities themselves. It wasn't an awful first half performance, but it wasn't vintage by any means. And that second half, as I've said, they come out running quick. It's out the traps, and Wolves deserved it based on that second half. And then the crowd gets involved, the crowd gets behind them, and it's such a massive win considering what's happened during the game and before it.
So let's talk about, obviously Jean-Ringler Bellegarde coming off. We'll see what his situation is. That's a blow. That's a big blow when you're looking at the forwards that are available and Hwang Hee-chan, Mateus Cunha not here at the moment. And you lose him, and then, I've never heard Molineux. You could just hear the groan. Pedro Neto, running just at the front post, runs off the pitch, and he knew absolutely 100% straight away that he'd done his hamstring. The crowd knew, he knew, he just carried on walking, walked all the way around here. That is a huge blow. Look, we can't, I'm sure Gary O'Neill will not probably give a timeline today. I'm sure he'll be more cautious, but at the same time, you've got to think that he's out of the game against Coventry, and we've got to hope that he's back at some point the other side of the international break. That is, going forward, a massive blow with his forward line, with really only Pablo Sarabia being the senior forward out those 5 strikers.
Yeah, you've got a very small, thin squad as it is. You lose Hwang Hee-chan. Mateus Cunha, as we know, the story from last night, is in contention for Coventry, but there's absolutely no guarantees that he makes that. And Gary O'Neill was very clear to say we won't risk him. If there's a possibility he'll get injured, we will not play him. So that's a 50-50 as it stands. You then lose Bellegarde, you lose Neto, and as you just said there, you've got Pablo Sarabia as your only fit a senior forward option. You got Nathan Fraser, who I thought did well today, considering the circumstances. Ran himself into the ground, as I say. There was a moment before the second goal went in when Leon Chiromi was coming on. Him and Twanda Traore were about to come on together, which is, I mean, he's 18 years old. He's only just come up to the first team today.
First time he's on the bench,
yeah,
and
exactly.
he's coming on with half an hour to go, potentially.
Because Fraser had nothing left in the tank.
Yeah.
They scored the second goal. Fraser gets another 5 minutes or so, and then Doc replaces him in the end. And look, Wolves are down to the bare bones in the forwards. We have to hope now, really.
Skeletal.
Yeah, we have to hope now that Cunha is available, and he's not a risk with him being available. And if he isn't, Fraser and Sarabia and either someone else or three midfielders is your lineup for Coventry, and Wolves have to find a way to win.
Look, question marks will be asked. They'll be asked about why Pedro Neto started the game today. Pedro Neto came off at half time in that 3-0 defeat against Newcastle with a tight hamstring. Now, you know, we're not medical scientists by any means, and obviously he's travelled this week and trained this week. He probably looked fine. He will have done a lot of tests, but it's not a great look when your talisman, who your best player in your team, who's missed 8 weeks already with a hamstring, we believe it's the other hamstring, or he comes off the week before and it's tight, and then he comes off again today. There's some fans who are very frustrated, and you can kind of understand that as well.
Yeah, understandably so. But I can categorise this, regardless of recruitment, regardless of individuals, this to me is almost freakish. How Wolves have been, how they've been so unlucky to lose players in the same position.
At the same time, I mean, Pedro Neto's a very injury-prone player.
Yeah,
that's a longer discussion.
That's a long discussion, absolutely. But you look at elsewhere on the pitch, and there's several players across every single position in this Wolves team that have virtually played every single minute. Craig Dawson's the only defender really that's had a couple of small issues here and there, obviously missed today. Otherwise, everyone else is fit. And Wolves have missed all their attackers all at the same time, which is incredibly bad luck. I don't think at any point, if Neto, after what happened last week at Newcastle, if he was any risk whatsoever, they wouldn't have played him today. So I don't for a minute believe that Gary Neal's played him thinking there's a possibility he could get injured. It's, unfortunately, I think, terrible luck.
It's devastating, and now the focus, of course, will be by hook or by crook, with whatever team Gary Neal selects, get through Coventry City on Saturday. Just get over the line. And I'm going to say it, and even though the Pedro Neto won't be playing, Wolves should still win that game. They're at home, they should still win that game. They've beaten Fulham at home today. But at the same time, when you're losing players like that, it is going to take an effect, it's going to take a toll. And these are young lads, all these are young lads, and they're inexperienced lads, and they're playing way above their heads. And they're doing a fantastic job, and hopefully they can carry that through. And long way in the future, if it's not as bad as what we first fear, maybe they can get past Coventry, maybe he might be back for that semi-final, and maybe Hwang might be back for the semi-final, and Cunha and Neto, we might see those players, but we've just got to concentrate now on what is a massive game. I'm sure the atmosphere will be unbelievable next Saturday, early kick-off against Coventry City.
Yeah, Gary mentioned it after the Brighton win, where there was a moment around 70 minutes or so when the players were pretty much done.
Yeah.
And the crowd here dragged them over the line, and Gary spoke about saying that fans wouldn't allow the players to throw it away. They dragged them over that line. It happened at times again today, not maybe to the same extent because Wolves were 2-0 up, but at times today that happened as well. And they are going to need that against Coventry. Regardless of it being the Championship side, regardless of Wolves being favourites, regardless of the injuries, Wolves will be, one, expected to win, but two, it will not be an easy win. You look at the way Wolves beat Sheffield United, for example, it's going to be a difficult, probably ugly game. And Coventry are going to want to make it that way, because that's potentially the best way they're going to get through themselves. So Wolves are going to need those supporters to drag them over that line, and if they do and they get through it, they're going to need a few senior pros to step up. The likes of Mario Lemina, he dragged Wolves through single-handedly at times today. We need that again. Ryan Aït-Nouri, mentioned him already, outstanding. And Pablo Sarabia, to be honest, quiet today.
Very quiet.
Very quiet today. You need a lot more from him. He is the only senior forward that is fit right now until we get updates on Bellegarde and Neto, and obviously Cunha's situation.
Wolves could do ugly baby.
They're going to have to.
You could do ugly baby.
Thank you.
Wolves 2, 1-1. For the first match reaction, make sure you log on to expressing star.